Yo, you already know who it is. Price, Rob, Bruh, Migos podcast back again. Matter of fact, we're going to call it Bruh Talk every time we come on now. It's Bruh Migos podcast doing Bruh Talk. And today, we have a nice little show for you guys. We're going to talk a lot of football. It's going to be NFL. It's going to be college. Rob said Jesus has been out a while. He's let it ride. He wants to give y'all his thoughts. And then we're going to finish this off with some WWE and all of that right now. Bruh Amigos podcast with a little bit of bruh talk. And that's coming to you right now.
That music.
4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
What about?
Rob, we got to start it off. It's NFL playoff weekend. Right now, as we speak, there are games going on. We have finished the Chargers and Texans game. Texans won that. Right now, Pittsburgh and Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers and Baltimore Ravens are playing, but that's not what we're going to talk NFL now. Okay.
It's kind of.
So what we're going to start talking with is Rob has had a trade idea. And I want to let him go ahead and discuss this about trading coaches. So, Rob, go ahead and bring that to
So,
the
people,
forefront.
as you well know, there is this guy named Kevin O'Connell who coaches my Minnesota Vikings. And there's been talks about trading coaches and actually been talks about the Vikings receiving phone calls about trading Kevin O'Connell. So, my thing is, if y'all bitches gonna dirty Mac, let's dirty Mac to the fullest. Give us something that we can basically work with. So, here's the thing. We'll let Kevin O'Connell in a package deal with JJ McCarthy go. What we get back, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. If y'all don't want to take that, y'all can get y'all dirty asses on. And here's why I say that. Because, see, the Kansas City, y'all might be thinking, why would we trade our stalwart quarterback and the coaches led us to Super Bowls? Here's why. Reset that clock, please. You got a young coach in Kevin O'Connell. You got a young quarterback in JJ McCarthy. Package deal. You got young on young, basically leading y'all to the next zenith where y'all basically take Arrowhead or wherever the hell y'all gonna play next or whatever it's gonna be. Y'all can basically have that to the future. And then we just take y'all what y'all basically had for like the longest. You already see Patrick Mahomes starting to take a little step. Andy Reid, I mean, he's Andy Reid. Sooner or later, that's going to basically, bottom out, So why don't you basically restart the clock, get younger, get something healthier, get something that basically, Kevin O'Connell looks fit. He looks good. JJ McCarthy looks like he was in Stranger Things. All those things could be yours right now if you guys just basically lay it on the line and give us that, all right? Plus, wouldn't you like to see Justin Jefferson and Patrick Mahomes? I know I do. So if you are down for something like that, bring it in. Just bring it to us. But overall, that's what we're asking for. That's the going price. Take it or leave it.
I object.
If you want to. But the thing is,
I object fully because I feel like this is a plot to win the Minnesota Vikings a championship.
Never.
You would?
This is for the good of Kansas City. I'm a Missouri boy. That's my state. The show me state is where my roots and my blood basically come from. All right? My DNA is in that state. I'm trying to do this for you. Look out for my people in that state. All right? I've been to Kansas City numerous times. Go to the National Negro League Museum. It's the best thing you could go to in Kansas City, bar none. But I've known that place for so long. I'm trying to help you out. I've been near Arrowhead Stadium at least once. So I was just saying, I'm trying to help you out. Help you give your everlasting life. You, Kansas City, 816.
I feel like this is a one-sided trade. This is a one-sided trade, Kansas City, that he has a plan to bring the Minnesota Vikings a championship. Because I'll be damn.
All contrary.
If they get Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and don't
all
go.
contrary, my nigga. Like, this is something that basically is for the good of the people of Kansas City. All right, y'all in Independence, all y'all in Sedalia, all y'all in Warrensburg. Y'all know y'all want this. All right, y'all know y'all need to have this. All right, KC 816, stand up for what y'all can basically have for the future. All right, y'all need to basically go ahead and give us that. Left hand, give it up. Give up the boy. I'm just saying, like, okay.
Not even close, Rob.
Fine,
Not
let's go to
even
the next.
close. This just sounds like a ploy for you to say, hey, if I had Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, I could win a Super Bowl in
This ain't
Minnesota pretty
about
easy. You
This
know
is
what I
not
mean?
about me. All right, I'm trying to give fair trades away. And I'm trying to broker deals. That's what I'm trying to do for the people. All right, the people of my home state, you know, and the people of my favorite team. This is about me. If you really want to break it down, this is really about me, but about the goodness up for me to help you, the people. All right, that's what all this is about. All right, this is about that.
People of Kansas City, Missouri, don't you listen to this Minnesota Vikings fan right here, because all it sound like is if I can get Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, I got a shot at winning this thing in the next year.
Pish posh. Pish posh.
Pish posh nothing. Pish posh nothing. This is a clear ploy to win a Super Bowl as a Viking. This is clearly what this is. But I give you an A for effort on that one, trying to broker that deal.
A man of the people. That's all I try to be.
A man of the people to be banned from the city soon with that trade right there that you try to make happen.
It's just if that's the cost. If that's the cost, that's what I have to do.
That's exactly what they'll do. But moving on, as you guys know, right now in the NFL, the MVP race is a tight one. It's a doozy. Well, some say it's tight, some say it's not tight. Everybody has their own outlook of what this is, okay? People feel like it's a Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen race, okay? They feel like they're all running neck and neck for the MVP. But Rob here says that everybody should get a co-MVP, and there's no way that you can change his mind about it. Go ahead and explain yourself with that.
I'm just gonna rattle off some stats for y'all, and y'all tell me who should basically get it. I want the people to speak to me. I want we to hear together. I just want us to have a conversation. 70% completion percentage, 4,900 yards, 43 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. 66.7 completion percentage, 4,100 yards, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. 37% completion percentage, 3,700 yards, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. 72% completion percentage, 4,600 yards, 37 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Who should basically win our MVP out of that? And we're gonna do it completely blind. Who do you think should basically win the MVP out of that?
I feel like this isn't fair for me to answer this because I know who has one, and it ain't even on screen, people. I just happen to know the numbers of these quarterbacks. It is what it is. But I'm gonna say this: I know the 4,100 yards is Lamar Jackson, Auburn, with like the 3-4 interceptions. Okay, that's who I would give it to. Okay. Now I can understand you saying that this should be everybody get a co-MVP thing, but this is where I'm gonna have to disagree. One of these people, and I know that this is a bad way to eliminate him, but I'm gonna throw this one out there. His team was fighting for a spot and got eliminated. That's Joe Burrow. So I'm moving him off the board. Okay, even though he's had a great offensive year. His defense didn't. They were trying to find themselves, and they couldn't find themselves. I feel like they lost on the ride. I feel like they play gorillas though. Every time they go in the locker room, I'm lost on the road. And I feel like that's where his defense has been. They just lost. They don't know what the hell to do. They lose it in their mind. They lose it in control. They just swerve in on and off the road. That's it. So I had to eliminate him like that because that's my first elimination. Now, Josh Allen, although very impressive right now, I feel like he's going to show me something, and I want to say that game is tomorrow. I want to say he plays tomorrow. I feel like tomorrow he's going to show me something that I'm going to be like, yeah, he's going to choke. But maybe not choke, but I feel like Denver is going to give him more of a struggle than what I think he hopes for. Okay, so I'm gonna throw that one out there. Left out, we down to two: Goff and Lamar. Okay, both teams, a bunch of weapons. Both teams, well, no, both teams have great defenses, and I feel like one person has a slightly better set of weapons than the other person. Okay. And I feel like Jared Goff's set of weapons is slightly better.
I wouldn't say slightly.
Lamar's.
I think it's much better.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's much better. Well, running back wise, this is what I'm gonna say. Derrick Henry can kind of carry both of them. He can carry the weight of Jameer and just a little bit, because Derrick Henry is such a big dude and he can run and he can wear a defense down. I feel like he's a huge weapon, but Jahmyr Gibbs is really good. Jahmyr Gibbs is extremely
dangerous in
good.
open field, as we saw last week.
Yes. I feel like Goff had times this year where he struggled just a little bit, but he has that better set of kitchen knives to go out there and get it done. But the person with the less good set of kitchen knives did a little bit more passing. And he also used his feet, and he kept his interceptions down, and he had a bunch of touchdowns. And that's Lamar. That's who I would give it to. Okay? That's the way I would give it to. But I'm not against. I wouldn't be against a co-MVP of Goff and Lamar. I wouldn't be against that. If they did say that they came out with a 4-way MVP, I wouldn't be totally against it. It's just Josh Allen is something about whenever I watch him, it's like I feel like this year has been his coming out party. Like he's showing out, but then I feel like this may be short lived at the same time. And it's only, and I'm only having this feeling because of a couple things. Today, and I know because we're filming this now, we saw the Chargers game. Okay. And where I thought Justin Herbert was going to show out today, he showed me just how much he don't want to get hit, and he's not willing to step into a throw and take a hit to make the play to save his team or keep his team going. I'm not saying Josh Allen won't do that.
Josh Allen wants to do that.
What I am, yeah, Josh Allen wants to do that. But I just feel like for some reason, Josh Allen might struggle tomorrow more than what I think he should, which maybe he might not. Maybe he might not. Maybe it's just, me overthinking it a little bit. But he may not do as great as I think that he's going to do tomorrow. But I wouldn't be totally against a 4-way MVP though, because Burrow had a hell of a year throwing the ball, and Jamar Chase had a hell of a year catching the ball, receiving, receptions. I think he was Triple Crown. Wasn't he Triple Crown?
Yeah, I think he got the Triple Crown.
Yeah, I want to say he got Triple Crown, which is amazing, especially to say that you had a kind of non-existent defense at times.
Like, that's probably why. On the field a lot.
Yeah. You're on the field a hell of a lot with a defense like that, which is just freaking ridiculous. Like Cincinnati, y'all draft this year should be straight defense. I don't think you need an offensive person to go back and sign T. Higgins, maybe a lineman, but you go sign defensive personnel, okay? Defense, that's it. But I can understand where you're coming from with it, though, Rob. I can definitely understand where you're coming with it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Joe Burrow, basically, that team is nowhere near the playoffs. Basically, Joe Burrow doesn't have the stellar season that he has. That's one. Lamar Jackson, kind of same thing. 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's immaculate, especially when you couple that with, the 800 rushing yards, the 4,100 basically passing yards. Yes, he had 900 rushing yards. So almost 1,000 yards rushing, for almost basically he had 5,000 yards for the season, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And basically had his team up there. Even if you could say he had Derrick Henry, he was the one that was stirring that ship. Josh Allen, Not as many weapons as he's had in the past. A lot of younger talent basically taking bigger roles, but basically he had 40 total touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Like he basically, and if you remember that Kansas City game, he willed that team. He absolutely willed that team to victory.
Yes,
and then you got Jared Allen, 15 wins, even though wins are the quarterback stat. He basically was captaining that team to 15 wins, 72% completion percentage, 4,600 yards, 37 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Great cast of characters, but he was the guy. I mean, a lot of those interceptions, I want to say, I think at least 5 of those came against in that Texans game. So if you don't count that Texans game, like, he had a great year. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a travesty to basically say that any of these dudes shouldn't have the MVP. Absolute travesty to basically say any of them shouldn't have the MVP. But one or some got to basically make it. And if it is going to be co-MVP, personally, I would like it for it to be Lamar and Jared. I would push Josh Allen out of there. I'll push Joe Burrow out of there. I think what Jared Goff has done for this season is remarkable and should get some kind of nod. And I think we're overlooking him because the politics of wanting basically Josh Allen to win the MVP. It can't be overlooked. People want to anoint that man. And I think he has done it. And I think that it's a if not now, then if not now, when. So if you want to give it to him as an MVP, I'm not going to say anything against it. But Lamar is absolutely deserving. Jared Goff is absolutely deserving. Josh Allen is absolutely deserving. And Joe Burrow, his team did make the playoffs. Yes, got you. But that defense was crap, and he had to basically get that team to a 9-8 record. He had to. Nobody else was going to do it.
Yeah.
So I think he deserves it, but I understand not wanting to give it.
That is one of the few situations where if the offensive players looked across at the defense and they told me they had a fight because the offense said the defense wasn't shit, I'd be like, y'all not even fight with them because y'all wasn't. Y'all just wasn't there this season, and it didn't help him any because I do think this. I think if his defense is top 15, so we saying in the top half of the NFL, I think that instead of 9-8, they're probably, let's say, 11-12 win team.
Yeah, at least.
I truly think that.
They had a decent defense. Yeah, they'd be probably 12 wins easily. Exactly. I compare, because what he did to me was like, it was like, okay, we're going to go out here and we're going to try to solo this shit. Just the offense. And then I think they were averaging like 30 a game, which is kind of crazy. They were
crazy
averaging
for
as much as they were giving up, because I want to say they were giving up like 29 to 31 or something like that.
Yeah. It's crazy to say, we're averaging 30 a game. It's like 30, bro. It's like they're going out there and getting 30 points and they finish 9-8, and you guys couldn't stop a few teams? Just a few. Just a few, so they could squeeze out a couple more wins. But, it is what it is. Now, with that being said, we do have more. Because Rob said this, and I don't know how to feel about this. I can understand what he's saying, but I don't think I can agree with it. Rob has said, he said the Cowboys are the greatest franchise.
Absolute greatest.
In sport. We talking like all sports.
Period.
Okay, I got
stand back. All right, so all right, look.
I got you.
Have y'all ever been in love? I want to ask the audience: have you ever been in love? Because the thing about it is, I've been in love, been married for a while. Been with all that. When you love somebody, and when you love their dirty draws and every single thing, every single aspect of them it couldn't be any kind of wrong. Even though other people might say, hey, this is weird. I don't like it. You like, no guys, no girls. This is me. This is what I love. Nobody loves anything like motherfuckers love the Cowboys. And here's why I say that. As you guys saw this week, Mike McCarthy, basically his contract situation is up. Now, you're thinking to yourself, This team is crap. They about to pick high in the draft. They haven't really done much of anything. Haven't won a playoff game in forever. Haven't done anything in the playoffs in 2 forevers. Like, why are we caring about this? It's because of love.
Mm-hmm.
You love that team. And here's why. Because the most mundane, small shit, as in a coach that hasn't basically done a fucking thing for a team, his contract is about to run out. It already ran out. That's been like top news to motherfuckers. And I don't fucking understand it. Because if he was the Bengals, if he was the Chargers, if it was anybody else, nobody would give a shit. It wouldn't lead First Take. It wouldn't lead First Things First, or whatever the fuck these shows are. Nobody gives a fuck if basically Doug, or let's say Steve Strikens, and some of you motherfuckers don't even know who that is. Steve Strikens' contract runs out anytime soon. Nobody's looking at that minute detail, but niggas will care about that. What is Jerry gonna do? What is Mike gonna do? Why? Because it's love. And nobody makes you love them. No franchise in sports makes you love them like those Dallas Cowboys. And that's why I say they're the greatest. Because the most mundane shit that could ever be talked about for any team is amplified like millions. You love that team's dirty draws. Everything. If those motherfuckers fart, there's going to be a 20-minute conversation on First Take about what foods it could smell like without ever knowing what they ate. That's what everybody loves about this whole world. I'm talking about sea to shining sea loves that team's dirty draws. I don't fucking understand it. This team won early and this team hasn't won since. The Patriots have won early. Nobody loves them like these, like unless you like a Northeast motherfucker that basically watched them. San Francisco won multiple titles. Nobody loves them nationally like them except you in maybe the Bay Area or whatever. Oakland. Or not Oakland. Vegas. So you still call them fucking Oakland. Vegas. No. The still let's just win, baby. Al Davis, all that shit. Nobody loves them like that. And they ain't won shit either. All these teams have won since the Cowboys. Have done shit since the Cowboys. Have had the Steelers too. Have had remarkable success since the Cowboys. But the Cowboys is the one that y'all fawn over. And all I can really go with, it's love. Because I can't fucking understand any other thing about it. Y'all love that team. And that's why they're the greatest. Okay? Give props to Jerry Jones. Give props to all of them. Because they basically know how to basically put the spark in you motherfuckers' sports bedrooms. I don't understand it. I look at it from the outside looking in as a Vikings fan. And even loving my little Vikings. And I say little because they do shit to piss me off. We'll see Monday. I still fuck with them. But nationally, nobody gives a fuck about them until they want to make a hot take. Y'all love that team. Love, hate. Y'all Helga Pataki holding up the little locket. Y'all just love that team. And I don't get it. I'm like Pam to y'all, Gina. I don't get what y'all see in those boys. All right? But that's why they're the greatest. Because they make you love them. And that's what it is. And that's what it's going to be.
I can see where we going with this. They're probably the most loved franchise. For sure. Because I'd be damned if they don't. If you're right. You're right about people loving them. You're right. You're definitely right. You're definitely right about people loving them. You're definitely right about them being covered on First Take. And this with my boy.
And
we definitely gonna have to revisit
and
this.
I'm not hating.
Sure.
Don't take me as a hater. Take me as a non-understander. Because I lived in Louisiana for 4 years. And y'all motherfuckers hate them niggas. Like, Louisiana.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is a section here that loves them.
And yes, and that's possibly why. Because I also live in Virginia. And that's the other place where basically niggas love that team. Or niggas hate that team. Because of the Commanders. And you got Eagles fans that's around here. You got all these, like, the whole like east side of the country, east to south, basically has Cowboys fans in it, and you got the haters that accompany them, like stink on shit. Like you basically they align together.
I just want to let it be known that I am a part of the Cowboys Haters Club. So if you all want to join along with me in my favorite chat, Cowboys hate. That's just me. Because like I said, look, and I look into the camera, and Rob has said he doesn't hate y'all, but I'm going to say this. It's not your franchise. It's them goddamn fans, okay? That's all it is.
Okay.
That's all it is. I don't hate Dak. Dak is a good quarterback. But them fans, get on my motherfucking nerve. Boy, if I could round y'all up and just hit y'all with cattle prod, it would make my day. It would make my day. Yeah, except Visky. Because I like watching him struggle. Like, because this is my boy. But whenever the Cowboys lose, I be like, about to call him right
now. Mad as a
now.
motherfucker with you.
Visky. He'd be like, I don't know what the hell going on. And I'll be like, you know,
we was watching the Cowboys games, like, what was it, when I was down there, and he just like, yeah, he was motherfucking them more than anybody else. I was the one basically like, they're okay. You know, it's okay. No, he was.
Bro, I'm telling you, but they amaze me. They look, Cowboys fans, it's the fact that y'all amaze me because y'all figured out how to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And I know that sound backwards because I'm saying it backwards on purpose. You're right. But think about it. Y'all know how to go out here and lose even whenever you can win. Because y'all could have went out here and through the season and got a higher draft pick. Y'all went out there and won anyway. Who does that?
The Patriots.
Who does that? Yeah, the Patriots did it too. I don't know what's wrong with Robert Kraft and goddamn shit. Look, I know that this is gonna sound messed up because me and Rob have complained about load management in the NBA. But let me explain something to you people. In the NFL, whenever we jockeying for draft spots in a season that's only 17 games to get to the playoffs and not 82 games and a play-in tournament and all kind of other shit can get you a spot in there. If I'd lose and go get my spot. I'd have sent the whole team. Rob, you know what I'd have did? I'd have took all the starters and been like, y'all get drunk and I'm going to put y'all all on the plane to Cabo.
Well, the problem is they did do that and they still won. That's, or at least with the Patriots. They put in the Bills took out their starters, the Patriots took out their starters, and the Patriots still won. Franchises quote unquote tank. Players do not, because they don't give a fuck about the first round draft pick, and they fucking shouldn't.
I'd have went out there and told him I got a half meal for you to throw that bitch in the stadium. In the first
you gonna need some generational wealth to basically make me do because it's one of those like one of the things like because I've known people that do software, and when it comes to proprietary information, if somebody's saying I want to basically have your shit, and you be like, I pay off my kids' college, they kids' college, and they kids' college.
This is true.
That's what you're gonna have to do for me to throw this fucking game. All right. I get that you want to basically go, instead of picking 5, you want to pick at 3, but you're gonna have to basically give me some motherfucking scratch to do that shit.
I'd have figured out how to give him a percent or
you
something.
would have had to give.
Like, I'm gonna give you something.
The juice wouldn't have been worth the squeezing, but you would have probably like, nigga, you could, because you trying to basically take away my livelihood. You trying to make me look like shit. And so, like, you trying to make me look like shit, you're going to have to pay me a motherfucking king's ransom because you basically taking my career away. Like, because that's why niggas basically go out and play their ass off, because they like, I got to play for my next check. Like, I get what y'all trying to do and basically trying to get more for your franchise, but I got to play for me because this is a business 2 ways. And I got to basically get my business out there to make sure that I'm basically playing go come, because if they look at me like how Devondre Campbell might never play again, like I don't want to be like that. I want to be like, y'all gonna sign me to something else. If y'all cut me, y'all gonna sign me to something else. Like if you give me a lifetime contract, give me like some motherfucking like no cut clause or whatever. Fuck it. I throw that bitch to Stankonia. But if you gonna basically not do that and then you gonna cut my black ass while using the game tape and everything like that, fuck you. Like that's not happening. Not happening at all.
Yeah. You right. You right on that one. But we have to figure it out. I know that you guys can't see this, but Russ threw a hell of a pass to Van Jefferson, trying to get them boys pumped up to get this thing going back rolling for the Steelers. But I don't see it happening. Because, I picked the Ravens to win, and it's still a 21-7 game.
Womp, womp, womp.
Yep. Now, moving on. I know that you guys have seen what's going on in Tyreek.
Mm-hmm.
We have to talk about what's going on with Tyreek Hill and the situation that he's in Miami. And I'm going to kind of go in on this one a little bit first, Rob. Tyreek. The money. The money was taken care of. I must agree with what Stephen A. said. You took care of family whenever you went and got the extra money, which you probably need. You got like 9 kids, okay?
And counting.
So, and counting. Now, on top of that, you went up in there, you got this money, and now you pull a AB and you put your face on him whenever he left. And the thing that's so ironic about this is, Rob, he talked and pushed Tua so high, so much better and mighty than Patrick Mahomes. And he got a strong arm than Patrick. He is more accurate than Patrick. You know, I don't know how many of you guys who are out there that watch us, I don't know if you've ever bought a used car, if you bought anything used, but you try to look for what's wrong with it and what could go wrong. And I'm going to say this. Tyreek's first thing before he chased the money should have been this. Am I going to be okay if this guy gets hurt? Okay. This guy who's had an injury history, came out of college, being injured, came into the NFL, keep getting injured. Is this going to be good for my livelihood and production? Okay. And we learned the lesson of, no, it's not. Now, after him talking up how good Tua was and how great of a man he was and this, that, and the third, and I distinctly remember, Rob, him saying, yeah, man, he's just as good as Patrick. And, even though Patrick may not be in the MVP conversation, Pat has had a few 5,000-yard seasons. And I think maybe Burrow has maybe had a 5,000-yard season.
I can't remember.
Out of those 4 guys that we named earlier, none of those guys have a ring. Pat has what, 3 of those? Pat has 3 of those. Tua has does Tua have a college?
He has a national championship.
He has a national, so he has a national championship. He got Pat beat right there. He got a national one. Pat don't have a national championship. But Pat do have 3 Super Bowl wins and a league MVP. A few of those 5,000 yards, those immaculate 5,000 yard seasons, And if I'm not mistaken, Tyreek Hill was a part of one of those 5,000 yard seasons, if not a couple of them. Now we turn around and we open our mouth and talk so bad about the man, about how your new quarterback is better. And you know what it reminded me of, Ralph? It reminded me of a scorned girl.
Absolutely.
That was mad that she had the league and you put her ass out. Not saying that Patrick put him out. But Tyreek left on his own will because he wanted even more money. Because it came down to I think 120 million. I think Kansas City can only give him 101.
Something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So, I understand. No state taxes. I'm going to go get all my money, But it was the relationship. It was the relationship that bothered me, that he talked so bad about Pat. After Pat never talking bad about him. And Pat never
barely
talking
made
bad
mention
about him after that. Yeah, he let him say whatever he wanted to say. Didn't say anything bad about him. Tyreek's a great guy. I loved having him here in Kansas City. Pat played it perfectly in the company, man. But now where do we go, Tyreek Hill? Are we gonna pull AB? Are we gonna act crazy to get our ass up out of Miami? Who's gonna be willing to take us? And that's whenever it hit me. Dallas. Dallas likes these type of players. Historically, they love these players. They love these emotional players that go out there and play the game with their heart on their sleeve and they cry in the media and everything else. I want to bring back a memory. There was a guy, came out of San Francisco, elite wide receiver. Okay? Number 81. That got up there and cried in Dallas behind Tony Romo and said, "That's my quarterback." Not to mention, this guy had also had beef with another quarterback in Philly that them two went back and forth with, okay? Let alone to host the woman beater that Dallas is hosting and people that are domestic
volunteers,
violence offenders, volunteers, and these people all gravitate to the football team of Dallas. So why not, Tyreek? Why not take your talents to
Can I
Dallas?
say why not?
Why
Because they ain't got a a smidge of cap space. They don't.
You right. You right. They broke his all.
No. Actually, it's the contrary. They paid too many niggas. And they still got to pay Micah. That's gonna be the problem because Tyreek got a lot of money still on that contract. Unless basically Jerry's willing to break off a piece of something and figure some shit out, they don't really have the room to do it. Because as you were talking, I'm like, where can he go? Because we were kind of talking about it before the show of okay, if it's not working out with Miami, he has to be somewhere. So what I really thought about was a few teams going along the lines of historic teams that basically take on characters, bad or not. And to go along with the whole thing about AB. Las Vegas Raiders, ton of cap space, about to select a new quarterback. Why don't you basically have something that basically sets him up? Now, granted, Tyreek, 30 years old, seemingly has lost a step, may not be as good as what once was, but pair it with Jacoby Myers might not be a bad thing. So that might be one place. Another place, New England. Patriots way. They seemingly about to sign Mike Vrabel as a head coach. They might basically want to go do that. Another team, New York Giants, a team that still is looking good. They're gonna basically draft another quarterback, pair him up with Malik Neighbors. He doesn't have to do it. He could basically abdicate to Malik Neighbors, who is right now the better wide receiver, the more talented wide receiver, and basically you can give excitement for that fan base to say, hey, we got two really good receivers that basically we're going to have paired with, say, either Cam Ward or Shador, So that can basically be that. But there's spots that you could bring them in. Jacksonville is another one that might have that looks like they have some cap space. If you want to bring them out to Chicago, I wouldn't. Tennessee would be another good one because they ain't got shit. They ain't got shit worth talking about. They fucked up and didn't keep AJ Brown, and basically has been ruined the day since basically that happened. That'd be good. There's Minnesota there, but we're not gonna talk about that. We don't need that. But there are teams that could take them on, at least right now, because granted, this could all change once free agency actually starts and these big deals actually come through and re-signings, and the cap space might limit. Because the Patriots got $133 million in cap space because they ain't paying a fucking body anything right now. But that's going to change. But that could change very quickly, especially once free agency starts. But yeah, that's what I would say. There are spots that he could trade. He could be traded to. Granted, he wouldn't be traded to New England. But say Vegas, say Tennessee, say the Giants. I think those would be three good landing spots for him, which would work.
The one that you spoke of that intrigues me the most is probably the Jacksonville, and I'm gonna explain to you why. They've paid this man, this quarterback, astronomical amount of money, okay? And me and Rob still are trying to fathom how the hell they got this shit. Any news program right now that is willing to pay me and Rob each $200,000 a year, or $300,000, and let us mail it in and not really do much, and it just said Rob's recording and stop.
Yeah, which was something I was fearing. My shit got loose. Hold on. Let me go out and go back in. All right, I'm back. And now
Looks like it looks like it went back to record. Yep.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Still can't.
You can't hear me because it is.
All right, there we go. I'm back.
All right, yeah. Now, as I was saying, any organization that is willing to pay me and Rob $300,000 a year and willing to let us mail it in for the next 20 years and not have to do much,
more or less.
Go ahead and hit us up in the email, and we'll be sure to be ready to come over and sign up for $300,000 a year and not have to do much. We got you.
The DMs are open. Bramigos Pod on all the networks. You can basically just I'll look at them. Just send it through. Come through.
Because that's what I feel like Trevor Lawrence has done as an NFL quarterback. He has mailed it the hell in. He came out there and won a little bit, but then after that, he was like, I showed y'all what I do. Go ahead and give me that contract, and then we can talk a little bit more. And then they gave him the contract, and we haven't been talking worth anything since that. And surprisingly, what really kills me about it is this. Why don't we ever bring his name up to the forefront in any place about how bad he's played? The Jacksonville Jaguars finished 4-13, and we have said nothing about the $275 million man.
It's been spoken about. It's just that they've been so shit, and he was the number one. This is the thing. This is a larger conversation that I think we're all gonna have when it comes to certain quarterbacks and what motherfuckers think. And because it's the same thing that just happened with a guy that just got eliminated out of the playoffs tonight, in Justin Herbert. When you basically have a quarterback that you head over, it's the thing about love that I keep talking to y'all about. When you have somebody that sways your heart and basically brings you in, and then you are like, I love this person. Look at what the talent they do. Look at everything they do. Look at how they throw. Look at how they run. Look at everything. It's just so majestic. I love everything about it, but nothing else. Everybody's telling you that this person ain't shit. This person ain't this, but all you going back into is what made you fall in love with them. Everything that basically, all those thoughts, all those different things that basically told you this person is the one for me. This is the quarterback. This is the love of my life. This is everything that I've ever wanted. And it's right here in front of my face. And it's so hard to basically leave that thought for the fucking reality that this motherfucker ain't actually shit. All right. That's what's happening with Justin Herbert, even though he is talented and he's one of the best quarterbacks that I've ever seen throw the ball. But basically, it keeps happening where this motherfucker can't get over the hump. And same thing with Trevor Lawrence, even though Trevor Lawrence did beat Justin Herbert in a playoff game that basically Justin Herbert won, which was another one of Justin Herbert's playoff losses. So be that as it may. But that's what happens with these cats. People fall in love with them. The pundits, the people, the talking heads, they fall in love with them. So when it's time to basically comment on them like you would about a Kirk Cousins, like you would about a Jameis Winston, it's so hard for them to do it because all they see is what they fell in love with. That honeymoon phase has not stopped. It's not slowed down. And because of that, their whole bias is flawed. Because humans are naturally flawed, but especially humans that are in love. And these people are tough. That's what we're gonna call this episode. You was trying to find a top title, the love episode. That's what we do. This is the episode about love. Because I'm telling you, the love guru, the guy in the Schoolhouse Rock shirt, sports love is real, y'all. There we go. That's the title. Sports love is real, y'all. Real. And that's what we're seeing, guys. Sports love. This should have been the Valentine's Day episode. But Valentine's could be in January. Why the fuck not? But yeah, that's what this is about. All right.
Cause I can't see it. And I just gotta say this real quick.
You're not in
Man
love.
threw for 2,000. He threw for 2,000 yards in 10 games, 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And this is your $275 million quarterback?
LOVEE. I'm just saying, dog.
He did undergo, his shoulder, his AC joint in his left shoulder, which isn't his throwing arm. But
that was after he looked ass.
Yeah. That was after the fact. Just dog. But moving on. It's been over a month. Rob been letting it ride.
Mm-hmm.
Rob has some thoughts on GNX, and he wants to say this to everybody, because he said, "Look, Price, Rob, I've been letting this bump. I've been thinking about how this played out. I gotta let the people know.
It's been sitting in my soul for so long, dog. I need to let it go.
Man, go ahead. Let them know what you've been thinking."
All right, y'all. So if y'all ever heard of this rapper named Kendrick Lamar, he dropped an album called GNX, Grand National, whatever you want to basically call it. And so he dropped the album, and everybody knew, like, they heard Whacked Out Murals, they heard the tracks, they heard the disses to Drake and everything like that. One of the things that I think that people very much overlooked, and when they said that it was a diss to Drake, is that I think that they were looking too small. Because when I listened to it, when I heard the O album, which I thought it was his best album, it was my favorite album of Kendrick's. I would say, I know people love Overly Dedicated, people love Section 80. I loved them before GKMC, whatever. I don't give a fuck. But like, this was my favorite album of his. Sonically, it was great. Lyrics, everything's great. But the thing what I say about this album, and the thing that has been on my mind about this, is that people look so small in how they what the target of this album was. This is not, I think with Kendrick basically leaving TDE, and with this album being like his first big one after leaving TDE, this is about the industry. Kendrick had that track about, letting the party die or whatever. This is about him slaying Goliath. And I don't mean Drake. I don't mean any other specific person. He is doing head on against everything. And I think that once everybody realizes that this is not about a single person, and that this is about the industry and how basically I don't say it demeans women, demeans people, basically, accentuates drug culture, accentuates certain things that are more towards like, habit forming and bad for people, and basically just kind of making light of it. He is going after that. And I think that once people realize that that's what he's going after, all of his shit gonna basically go away. People gonna stop being excited about it. People gonna stop basically doing it. Because the thing is, when people basically when he was starting to go at Drake with Not Like Us and having the video and putting the, the OVO out, or putting the owl in the cage and everything like that and walking away, people thought that's what all this was about. I think people basically were like, okay, he's going at Drake. He doesn't like Drake. I don't like how you walk. I don't like how you talk. Like all that kind of shit. But the thing about it is, I think and I don't know Drake. I don't know Kendrick Lamar. I'm literally just saying this from the outside looking in. But I think when he saw what Drake is, which is basically perpetuating a culture, and people call them culture vulture, but you have to have a culture there to vulture. So I think that, which I like, when you start looking at the puppets and then you look up at the puppeteer and know that I can reach the puppeteer, that's what Kendrick is going after. He wants to go after the puppeteers. He wants to go after the people that saying, hey, like I don't know if y'all seen like the me or the video, like Cam, like, yeah, do the nigga shit. Yeah, really love that nigga. That's what he's going after next. And so I think when all this shit really comes into form and like he really starts going out there, all this shit gonna halt. Because the thing about it is, it's cool to basically yell at the puppet. We do this with Roger Goodell all the time. He's a puppet. That's all he is. He's a puppet. He has no power that is not given to him. He has zero power. The puppet basically is that person that like people just go at. They throw their tomatoes at. They throw the stones at. Whatever. But once you go at the puppeteer and really try to box God, that's when shit's really gonna basically get cool, but shit's gonna really get funky. And so I like to see how that's gonna all turn out, because I think Kendrick does want to let the party die, because he's seeing, like I'm seeing, motherfuckers basically giving their way to being whack ass motherfuckers. Yeah. Like there's no grown man anymore. I don't want to be no masculine energy alpha blah blah blah. There's not any decent motherfuckers anymore. Point blank.
Yeah.
And so when motherfuckers more swing towards, I need to be, because we see this in the podcast shit too. I need to be salacious. I need to downplay and talk about how bitches ain't shit. And like, dog, you can get up on this motherfucking mic, do what we do, and talk about some real shit, and fucking, and basically do a lot of fucking around. But we can do this shit, and it can't. It's so much fucking around. But like, you can do shit like this and still like look at yourself in the mirror and be like, oh, I'm not a fucking puppet. And so that's what I think Kendrick is going after. But that was my biggest takeaway from GNX. And I wanted to let everything, settle out. And really, we had a lot more shit to talk about than that. And we kept pushing the snooze on this kind of topic.
We kept pushing back. If y'all would see our topic list, y'all be like, how do y'all keep pushing me?
It was literally like, we'd be like, let's see, I can push this back to the next week. I can push this back to this, like, because it was just like, dog, we don't really need to talk about that. But that's what I say about, GNX, and that's what I say about Kendrick. So we're going to see how this whole David and Goliath going to work, because Kendrick is the best David that we can basically talk about to do this shit.
Yeah. He is the best David, but I see the powers that be trying to dampen this out sooner or later, and it's not gonna go where he wants it to go. But you guys have no clue how much stuff we have, because we actually were supposed to talk college football too today.
Yeah,
we had to push that back.
That we gonna snooze that.
We will snooze that till next week's episode. We're gonna have in the episode like this. We want to talk a little bit of WWE, and we have made a little bit of correlation. Robin made a correlation, and we want to see if we can maybe make another correlation, or you guys maybe make correlations in the comment sections and stuff like that. Rob has said that Roman Reigns, he feels like Roman Reigns is the LeBron James of wrestling. And I'm going to let him go ahead and elaborate on that right now.
And I'm going to elaborate. So, guys, as you guys have been watching both of these people, so like LeBron James, for example, the last 20 years, Roman Reigns, 12 years within wrestling. These are two people that from the time that basically they step foot in our wave, in our life, in our vision, have been looked at as, you are the next one. You are the anointed one. When Roman Reigns came out as the Shield member, as the, brother or not, he ain't a brother. He's like Samoan and Italian and so shit. But like, when he's holding his shit and he's talking to Renee Paquette, but I can't remember what she was called in WWE, but he's talking to her. He got the long hair. He's like, Renee, do I look scared? And he's showing all that charisma and everything like that. People saw like, okay, you're going to lead us into the promised land, young brown kid. And so when he basically does wrestling, he does all this shit. People still don't like him. They basically say like, hey, you're forcing them down our throats and all this kind of shit. It's like, okay, whatever. He basically gets booed. People don't like him. There's a lot of apathy, everything. Then the bloodline shit happens. And as everything is basically going, it starts off as Roman Reigns basically coming back. That's a little cog. And you add the cog of Jey Uso. And then you add the cog of Jimmy Uso. Then you add the cog of Solo. You add the cog of Sami Zayn. You add the cog of Paul Heyman. All these different parts of the machine are going. And then you add all these other cogs, these other like switches in. You add Bryan Danielson, but Daniel Bryan then. You add in Edge, Adam Copeland. You add in Kevin Owens. You add in all these different pieces. Star Maker is the guy that I would say Roman Reigns has been. Similar like the kid from Akron, LeBron James, who from the time that basically he was 16 years old, was on the SI cover as the next great. King James from 18 years old, having the whole Nike promotion where basically it's like he's coming into church and he's doing all this shit. Everything being the anointed God that he is. Everything about him was about basically he's supposed to be the guy. And every single thing that he's done has been about being the guy. And so when it comes to basically those two entities and how they form and align, LeBron James being the star maker throughout his career, or Roman Reigns being the star maker throughout his career, I'm just thinking that these guys are both aligned so much that Roman Reigns is LeBron James of wrestling. Because you could say other people, you could bring up other names, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, all these kind of guys. They weren't as star making when it comes to the storyline, because when you look at Jey Uso, nobody in the fucking world would ever say Jey Uso should be a star. Period, point blank. If I went to sleep in 2019 and woke up in 2024 or 2025, and I saw that people was basically saying that Jey Uso was the best one of the best baby faces in all WWE, I would say, how the fuck did I die again? That's what I would add. That was my first question would be, because there's no fucking way Jey Uso is the biggest star. First of all, Jimmy is the better talker. So why would I think Jey Uso would be a bigger star than his own twin? But it's true. Jey Uso is one of the top stars because of Roman Reigns. Solo Sikoa basically formed himself into one of the top stars within that company. Why? Because of Roman Reigns. Sami Zayn, one of the top baby faces within that company. Why? Great wrestling ability, but because of Roman Reigns. Everything about this man has been basically giving other people star power after star power after star power, basically giving those assists. This man is making people more than anybody else. Yes, you could say like The Rock helped Mankind. You could say Stone Cold helped Mankind to an extent. Vince McMahon getting more stature. You could say Hulk Hogan with say a Randy Savage or Mr. Perfect or whoever. You could basically bring all these names up, but there's one name in the best storyline that's ever existed within WWE, that is the Bloodline. Roman Reigns has been the patriarch that's been standing at the top of that motherfucker and making all the rain come down of success. That's what he is. LeBron James wrestler.
I can very much see that. Now, while we were sitting here, had a few correlations come. Now, this is strictly for me saying Attitude Era, matching them to other players. Now, walk with me, Rob.
I'm walking.
Stone Cold and The Rock, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
Oh, absolutely.
That's your Larry Bird. And look, Cena is your Mike. Cena came in, did all of the winning. He did all of the pop. He was the golden person.
That's perfect.
All of the time.
That's perfect.
I told you I could come up with it on this. We were just talking about this, and we said I bet that we could come up with more correlations. And while Rob was talking, I said, I got this. I said it went straight into my head.
Yeah, because the thing about it is, when it comes to Stone Cold and The Rock, first of all, there you had basically the internet and cable kind of mixing up, and like TV basically exploding. Like you had all that. And then when you talk about Cena, when you basically got just the era of ruthless aggression and everything kind of being like, okay, who is going to be the next great after Stone Cold and The Rock basically leaves? He is right there to carry that motherfucker across the line. Because the thing about it is, WWE did not really have much of a star outside of him. They had Triple H, you had Randy Orton, you had CM Punk, but you didn't have anybody close to what John Cena was. I don't care what you say about him. He is the GOAT. He is the greatest. He is the dude.
He is the dude. And I'm going to say this, and not many people may agree with what you just said, that he's the GOAT. But I want you guys to think about this. Cena came in, and not only did he win, but he put people over.
Mm-hmm.
He gave you people to like.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Sheamus. He gave you guys an opportunity to fight and like Sheamus, because they could have let Cena squash Sheamus if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
They could have legit They could have legit let this happen. But no, he gave you other people to cheer for, and he gave you other people that he went against and helped them be good guys and make careers. Cena was that GOAT. He may not want to say it because he says, well, Rick got the numbers and blah, blah, blah. And you know what, WWE? I'm going to say this. He's y'all GOAT. Y'all need to do him a favor and put it on him one more time. Give him the number.
Especially with the farewell tour.
Yep. Give him that number with that farewell tour and let him say, you know what? I got this shit now. Let him have it. Let him have it. He deserves it. He carried y'all through a time whenever everything wasn't there and people weren't popping, and you had some guys, you had brand splits, you had all kind of stuff going on. And whenever you put his name on the marquee, it was sold out. Whenever you put up his merchandise, it was sold out. You had Make-A-Wish kids. We want John Cena. I want to see John Cena. He has done everything that you probably wish The Rock and Stone Cold would have done Make-A-Wish wise, like outside of the company, even more like advancing. And then it killed me because it showed me how much he was dedicated to the company. You know, he learned Mandarin through the company. And I was like, WWE is giving away these chances for y'all to get secondary languages and all kind of stuff.
Yep.
And he's like the only guy that went and did this. And he can go to another country and talk in their language to them, an ambassador to this. I gotta give it to him. I have to. It's a lot of other guys I appreciate, and it's a lot of guys that I went back in the archives and I saw, like Cody's dad, Dusty. Like I was watching a clip the other day while I was talking with Visky. Whenever Dusty had on that big ass fur coat,
and that big ass hat,
and he told Rick, "Come on, come in here with that little mix shit." And I was like, "Look, Cena is that guy that whenever it came time, he did what you needed him to do. He never went Hollywood. He didn't have the injuries that Stone Cold had, because I will say, injuries kind of derailed Stone Cold a little bit. And also, I feel like his heelish turn wasn't the best. And John Cena, I'm going to say this. You can maybe say he tried to be a heel in the beginning with the Doctor of Thugonomics. We can maybe say that. But it caught on. He was rapping. He was coming out there. He was doing his thing. And we fell in love with him. The spinner belts, spinner wheels on the car. It just...
He was a pioneer.
He was the GOAT. He was the pioneer. He was the dude that did it all. And we have to appreciate that. And I love it all for him. But we had to come to you guys today and give you guys that from our episode today. Bruh Migos podcast. Remember, Bruh Talk. That's probably what we're going to call this now. Rob, what else do you want to say before we get about it?
Good night, Canada. Good night, Taylor Swift. I think that was mainly it. Yeah, I think that was mainly it.
Oh, and don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, tell your people we hit 100 on the road to 1,000 now.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Get us that extra 0.
Yeah, get us the extra 0, you know. We're trying to run up them numbers. Keep on running with us. Remember, we always got product codes for W. We looking for more sponsorships. Anybody think that we should try to get sponsored by? Shit, we might try a Method Man, because you know me and Rob like the products.
Method, come talk to your boys. We here. We're firm believers, firm followers. See that thumbs up? It's for you.
It's for you guys. But with that being said, we're gonna get up out of here. Peace.
Deuces.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the Bra Migos podcast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.